Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call this meeting to order for the Brawley City Council and successor agency to the Brawley Community Redevelopment Agency. Regular meeting for Tuesday, January 20th, 2015 at 6 p.m. And Happy New Year, everyone. I know it's a little late, but this is our first meeting of the year. So Happy New Year. I'm sure you've heard that a few hundred times already. So, if we can have the roll call, please.
The minutes will reflect all council members present.
If we could have Pastor Tom Dowdy of the Brawley Assembly of God lead us in the invocation, please.
Loving God of all the earth, we thank you for your many abundant blessings in our lives and in our fine city. You are the source of all life. You are the source of true purpose, and tonight we honor you, asking you to be glorified in this meeting with a spirit of cooperation, love, and peace. We pray for our mayor, for each council member, every official elected or appointed, and we ask that you would graciously grant them wisdom to govern fairly and justly. Grant them a sense of welfare for all the people of Brawley. Grant them a heart for justice and rightness. Grant them unity and harmony as they work together. Grant each of them personal peace and joy in their lives. We pray for the agenda set before them today. Please give them an assurance of what you would like and what would please you and what would benefit all those who live and around the city of Brawley. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you, Pastor.
Sergeant Schleier, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all very much. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. I would like to make one change to the agenda, and that's a change to the minutes for 12/16/14. They need to be amended to reflect Councilmember Noriega being present. There is a mistake in that reporting. So I would make a motion to approve with that correction.
I make a motion we approve the agenda with the correction that Mayor Nava has mentioned.
Second.
There's a motion, there's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is public appearances and comments not to exceed 4 minutes. This is time for the public to address the council on any item not appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city council. The mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name for the record. You are not allowed to make personal attacks on individuals or make comments which are slanderous or which may invade an individual's personal privacy. Please direct your questions and comments to the city council. Mr. Kelly.
Mr. Mayor, Honorable Council, I did not review the agenda, so I hope I'm not on it, but I just have a couple comments to make that, first of all, I want to wish you all a Happy New Year and look forward to working with you this year. And just a couple things. We had an Airport Commission meeting last week. One of the things that we approved is a survey that will be going out to the airport users. And the purpose of that, and also a notice for the inspections that will come up of the hangars. But the purpose of that is help us prioritize projects that we can bring to the council for the future. I've got to let you know that the staff's doing a great job here at the city identifying projects and doing those, but there may be some additional projects we could look at. So we had a really great meeting last week, and look forward to bringing that back to you in the future on what those recommendations are. Real quickly on the Brawley Community Foundation, I think some of you saw us over at the theater earlier, and they called the police to see what was happening over there. But we're meeting with the engineers, and so we hope that in the next couple of weeks we can come back to you and let you know that things are moving forward, and the engineer will be looking at the property and working with the city staff to sign off on that. We can begin the next phase of the project, which is the roof, and we'll move things along pretty quick after that. For Imperial Valley Economic Development Corporation, we had our board of directors meeting last week and a tour of Imperial Valley College. Our mayor attended that meeting, in which we gave a lot of information about the activities that are going on throughout the county and the recent MOU that was signed with Imperial Valley College and the University of Cities, which is really great because we can offer a lot of new degrees at Imperial Valley College with the staff that they have at SETI's University. And so there'll be an opportunity to have students here in the Imperial Valley actually could receive engineering degrees through that program. Tomorrow, we actually have 9 CEOs from different companies in the back office and professional outsourcing. One of those categories would be call centers. And so they're visiting the Imperial Valley. We've been working on this for about a year. We'll have a reception tomorrow night in which Mr. Wharton and Mr. Knopf will be attending. Tomorrow morning, we'll have some tours of the Imperial Valley, and then lunch here in Brawley, of which I believe Mr. Knopf is going to be attending. And then additional tours throughout the valley, and then dinner Thursday night will be in Mexicali. And then they'll be leaving on Friday. So we've already had word that a couple of these companies are very serious about the Imperial Valley. They've been looking at the Imperial Valley as a great opportunity, and now we gave them the opportunity to come here and help them make the decisions. Key to this is we sell the region first, and then we'll have an opportunity to really sell our individual locations and cities from there. So I know Mr. Knopf will do a great job representing the city. Next, I just want to announce our Renewable Energy Conference, which is coming up in March. One of the categories, one of the sessions will be on sustainable communities. And so we're working with SCAG and Southern California Association of Governments and ICTC on putting that program together. It'll be very relevant for the cities in helping to attain the sustainable cities programs that are initiated by AB 32 and some of the other state initiatives. So I'll give you another reason to attend. I think that Councilmember Noriega is already turned in her registration. Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you there. Just announce one of the speakers. Denise Cheney will be one of the speakers, and she was just appointed to North American Development Bank. North American Development Bank did their first project here in the city of Brawley. And so we're really lucky to have her on that board now, and she'll be bringing some top executives so we can discuss financial opportunities for them. In the future, we'll be looking at an economic summit once we get that approved with the county, and then we're also looking at a finance roundtable. And what we do at the finance roundtables is we'll have all different groups like the EDA, USDA, Industrial Development Bank, and others all come to the Imperial Valley. We'll work with the cities to develop 1 to 2 projects that we can pitch for funding, and then they will look at ways that they could help you fund those projects. And then the next session will be on private sector. We'll look at private projects that we can pitch to them for additional funding. So we did this in the past, probably about 4 years ago. It was very successful, and we want to try this again. And the agencies are very excited to come to the Imperial Valley and look at the projects. So we'll be discussing a couple projects that we can look at for the city of Brawley, and then additional projects on the private sector that may be in the jurisdiction of the city of Brawley. So thank you very much. As you can see, we have a lot going on, and I really appreciate your involvement and support, and Mr. Nava, you attending our meetings. Thank you.
Thank you very much
Mr.
for the update.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Are there any other public appearances or comments?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council and staff. Jason Zara, Brawley Chamber of Commerce. Happy New Year to everyone.
Likewise,
I
thank
want
you.
to start by saying that our first farmers market of the new year was a big success as always, and we owe a lot of that to the staff, city staff, and their help. So thank you as always for that. I know you've probably heard me say this before. You'll hear me say it a couple more times, but we were looking forward to the next one on February 14th. Another item that's coming up on February 2nd, we're going to be having a public meeting regarding the cattle call queen. The whole committee process, the coronation. As you know, the last 2 years, we've only had 1 contestant in each category. And so we're looking to the public and to people who have a history with the event for ideas to bring it back and see what we can do to promote it further. And we'd hate to see something with that much history die out, but it's obviously much more difficult to sustain when there are fewer girls participating, so.
And that's been for the past few years, so that's a
Yes.
good move in trying to recapture people's attention, certainly. Yeah.
I know there are a great many people with history in the event. They're all very interested in seeing it succeed, so I think we just need to give them, hopefully, the public push to
Right.
really come step up to the plate and help us make it great again, so. If anybody from the city is interested in taking part, that'll be February 2nd at 4 o'clock at the Chamber, or anyone from the public, of course, everyone is welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are there any other public appearances or comments at this time? There is.
Good evening, members of the council, and Happy New Year to you.
Happy New
My
Year.
name is Ed Otter. I'm a resident of Brawley, and just want to let you know I'm not here to complain about the potholes in the street, or the the water system or the trees untrimmed and things like that. No, actually, I'm here to promote my band. I belong to a band called Capital 64.
Cool.
We've been in existence about 5 years. Haven't played anything in the city, though. I have given information out, but I thought maybe I'd try the city council, get our name out there. I want to say also, I really like the keyboard out there on the crosswalk. I think that's a great touch, and the push for the arts. I think that's superb. And so I'd like to pass you out a flyer, if
Sure.
I may. Sure.
This is Janet Potter's husband, the one who got a stop sign over by the cemetery. She was one of the heads. She also asked that she likes to get, I forget what nickname he gives her, but something to do with beautification. She wants to beautify Brawley, so she says she is volunteering to be on a beautification committee, and she would like to plant some flowers and such. So I told her I would pass her name. I didn't mention that when her husband came up here I would do, but it reminded me of that. So Rosanna, whenever, did you need some more? Sure. There you go. So whenever you get a chance, you can call her back, Rosanna.
Mr. Otter, I love the Beatles. That's awesome. I love it.
Which one? Mr. Nava?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I was looking down when I was looking at your picture here. But, yeah, you're right. No, but that's fantastic. I think I may have talked to you in the past, but, you know, there are events that are taking place during the year, throughout the year, so maybe we can find a fit for you there. So, there's a lot of musicians out here, that's for
We've
sure.
played all around. We
Yeah.
played in El Centro. El Centro likes us, you know, and
That's good.
but I don't know, for 3 years, we've been trying to get something here with either the chamber or the city, and we think, you know, people would like us. We're going to play at Crumbs here on the 7th of February, so.
Right. And we're having a league dinner there this Thursday, so,
Great,
you know.
Great.
Didn't you guys play at my wife's art gallery last year?
Yeah, we did at the Del Rio.
Yeah, they were great.
Yeah. See, so El Centro likes you and Brawley loves you. There you go. So, there you go.
We'll get Jason to get with you also,
Okay,
Chamber of
great.
Commerce.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Is there anyone else from the public that would like to come up?
Mr. Flores.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Just out here to show appreciation for Brawley Union High School for your council and all the support we've had the past 3 years. I think every one of you have been instrumental in us being a very successful program. From Alma setting up, coordinating our events. I call her, email her at least once a day. Rosanna getting the kids out to the airport, and every one of you, I've gone through 3 mayors going to present to my kids, coming here as well, and it's been great. A lot of kudos in the awards. Obviously, it's not a one-team effort without every one of you donating your time. I was just talking to Councilman Couchman. He said they were asking him a couple days ago, still emailing, going back and forth with the kids, and you are striking the right nerve. They're getting involved. They're asking questions. I want to thank the fire chief, the police chief. A couple of weeks ago, we were out there. We took a couple of buses out there. Again, they're showing more respect to what government is and more respect for their city. And to show my appreciation, there's a nice certificate here for the city council, which shows all our civics initiative, all the partnerships that we've developed with the Hidalgo Society, American Legion, Seroptimus, ACC, Comité Cívico, Rotary, Kiwanis, Elks, plus the courts from Imperial County, 4th District Court of Appeals. We were there this past Thursday, and also the Supreme Court with the Chief Justice, which came to Brawley last year as well, and also the Brawley Union High School logo and the City of Brawley logo. So we truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I have to say that, Mr. Flores, that your students are very respectful. They called me at work one day and they started to ask me these questions, and I kind of, listened for a little bit, and I said, I'm at work right now, can you call me back at this time? And they said, absolutely, I'm sorry, they apologized and stuff, and I was very amazed and felt very grateful that we have you, number one, as a teacher, to teach these students the respect that they have learned, and I'm really happy to hear that they're doing so well in school. Yes, yes, I'm looking at him. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Flores. We appreciate it. Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public that'd like to make an appearance?
Hello, my name is Mark Greenwood. I live at 1371 La Valencia Drive. I'm trying to get some resolution. I've been in contact with both the city attorney and the city manager. And as of this time, I haven't had any resolution to the cleanup behind my house, which belongs to the Tangerine Gardens area. Currently, I have emails going back to July of last year. I have asked more than a year ago. At that time, they said that they cleaned up the west end, not the east end. It's an extreme fire hazard for my house and the vehicles that park back there, and for the trailer, the mobile homes that are right there. My last email, the last couple of emails that I've sent, I've had no response to. So I thought I'd bring it to this forum and try and get some resolution to this, because it's
Frustrating for you,
been-
certainly. It has been a long time. Mr. Greenwood, we're taking your comments, we take them all seriously. So anytime anybody comes up here and states that they haven't been responded to, we look at that carefully. So we'll instruct our city manager.
Mayor, I can give you a report on it real quick.
Sure.
We filed suit against Tangerine Gardens. They evaded service for several months. I finally did get them served, and I'm set to take their default on Thursday of this week. At that point in time, I expect the court to issue an injunction commanding them to clean it up, and if they don't clean it up within a set time, then the city forces will be forced to do it, and that'll place a lien on the property. The delay has been on their active evasion of process, and I have responded to the gentleman's email.
And yes, I have
I've come
had
to
responses,
your
but the
house,
last,
too,
right, but the last two emails that I've given, I have received no response.
Sure.
From anybody.
Well, we'll make
So-
certain to keep you abreast of what's taking place, but the process with government, and our attorney described it, it's just a long process. That's the frustrating part of it. People often think that we can go in there and just dictate the rules, or have city staff go in and clean on private property. It's just not that simple. So there is a process, and it looks like it's moving forward in that direction, but we'll certainly follow up with you. It looks like it's in our hands at this point, or it will be soon.
There will be a default on Thursday. They have a legal impediment to answering, so that is on my calendar for Thursday.
All I ask is for follow-ups to be sent to me so I understand. And I've asked for
Absolutely.
those follow-ups.
Absolutely,
That's
we
all.
will do that. Thank you, Mr. Greenwood.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other public comments at this time? Seeing none, we're going to move forward to item 2A. That's the introduction of newly appointed Brawley Police Sergeant Daniel Schleier by Mike Crankshaw, our police chief.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, staff. We finally found a place for our officers, so we're seeing both the council and the audience. With great honor, I have the opportunity to introduce one of our employees who's worked his way up through the ranks, what was formerly Detective Schleier. Spent approximately a little over 12 years in law enforcement in Germany, until he came over here. When he's been with the Brawley Police Department for about 6.5 years. Has just done a phenomenal job. The time that I've been here, I've been able to count on him on a variety of levels, from both his professional and then his community programs that he has been involved in. He is an officer that I can trust to do his job. It's kind of interesting. Now Sergeant Slyer has been a sergeant for about 3 weeks now.
Yes, sir.
And he's kind of coming, the color's coming back. It's an interesting process when you, it's an interesting process when you are, you go from being an officer and in charge of your own performance and to being a supervisor and now tasked with making sure the performance of others. And so and he has actually done a great job in this transition. So with great honor, we were able to, and he did a wonderful job in the process, and we were able to promote him. So I'd like to introduce him to you now. Sergeant Slyer. Second on that is that part of the police department is a family, as well as city staff, and none of our employees, I believe, can be really successful without the support of their own family, which is an extended version of ours. And through tradition, that not only are we promoting Sergeant Slyer, but we're promoting Sergeant Slyer's family. So for your wife, Farah, I'd like you to. That's to her, that's not for me to you.
Sergeant, we'd like to hear from you.
Thank you, sir.
Introduce the family.
Well, that's my family. That's my wife Farah, my son Yashua, and my daughter Annika. It's not always easy to, so I have a little bit of supervisory experience. Sometimes
We can tell.
there's days that are worse, days that are better. I want to first thank the Lord God for the blessings and for my wife to have the support that I needed to be an officer and, well, first be in this country. So, but no, it takes a lot on the family too. So I really thank my wife for that, and I want to thank the department, Chief Frank Shaw, and the support from the city. It's an honor to work here, and it has been as a detective or other capacities that I was working as a association president and in the community, and I felt this warmth and the welcoming aspect of everyone, and that's a great honor. And in my future endeavors, I'm looking forward to serve the city with my new position and a new capacity, and I promise to try to do well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You know, I would say this, Sergeant, very, very proud of you. We've become work associates here within the city the time you've been here, the time I've been here, and I'm very proud of you. Beautiful family. I know we're all very proud of you and happy to have you on board.
Absolutely.
But really his story is a great story. He comes from a foreign country. He's been in the country 11 years. He became a detective and now he's a sergeant. And so he's really living a dream that many people around the world do not get to experience. And so he mentioned just earlier to me, you know, just joking, I love his jovial sense of humor. We get along very well because of it, I think. But you know, he joked and said that, you know, I'm still working on my English. And I said, your English is better than mine. So I don't, it's like, I don't know. But congratulations to you, to your family, and you're doing great work for the city. I know you're going to continue to do that. So again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you.
Yeah, let's take a picture with Sergeant.
Get you in a photo.
Let's all take a picture.
He does have the little girl too. Very nice. That's why I look like you guys. She's got bunnies on her.
My camera's not even on. School project.
All right.
Oh, go ahead. Thank you anyway, what a done.
What happened? And I was messing with him. Were you messing with him?
Nobody messes with me.
Again, congratulations. We're going to move on the agenda to item 2B. That's presentation of the California School Boards Association Golden Bell Award for joint project of the Riverside County Office of Education Head Start Program, Imperial County Children and Families First Commission, and the City of Brawley Literacy and Mobile Book Services LAMS program by Marjo Mello, our library director.
Hi. I know we all went tights with little bunnies on the knees, but I kind of dressed like a grown-up today, so we're good.
Beautiful, too.
Thank you. I want to talk about the Literacy and Mobile Book Services vehicle. For a little bit of history, I know some of you have been around that long and some haven't, but in the late 1990s, which was last century, there was an initiative on the California state ballot called Prop 10, and it was passed by voters, and it puts a 50-cent tax on every pack of cigarettes purchased. And the money is collected by the state, who takes their cut off the top, and then the rest is kind of trickled down to the 58 counties in California. So we, as in the Brawley, actually Imperial Valley libraries, were invited to apply for a grant for a mobile literacy unit. And it was from the state Prop 10 Commission, and we were one of 11 awarded. And I remember at the time when I was trying to explain that we will be doing story times and we'll be going around and we'll be doing this and that, the then city manager said, Marjo, it's the right thing to do. That was Jerry Santillan, by the way. And then when I went to talk to Fred Selk, he said, well, yeah, I've got little kids running around. We'll be the fiscal agent. Because I know it's a lot of work for the LAMPS project for the finance department. And Ruby's back there going like this. And it is. However, the state funding had absolutely no guarantee at all, one way or the other, if there would be any further funding to do the program, which would be fun because we'd have a really cool bus in about 2 months.
Right.
However, the Imperial County Prop 10 Commission, which has since changed its name to the Children and Families First Commission, stepped up, and they have a competitive grant that we apply for, and we have been funded every year since 2001. And when we first started the project, one of the first sites that we went to was with the Riverside County Office of Education Migrant Head Start Program. The regular Head Start program is run under a different school district, so this is the Riverside County Office of Education. And we have here today Ms. Rosa Alvarez, who runs the program at the Brawley site, which is just north of Oakley School. And her comadre, Alma Ortega, is with her today too, from the Migrant Head Start program. So over the years, the program has developed. It's based on heady stuff such as brain development, learning styles, pre-literacy programs, etc. However, all any of the children know is they have a really good time. And the reason they have a really good time is because of the LAM staff. So I would like to introduce Julianne Rowe, who is our project coordinator, Gloria Sumaya, who is our lead presenter. She's the one that gets the kids to laugh. And Erica Noriega, who is the driver and a presenter. and has been with the program since the first day. So these are the ladies that have a good time with all the kids. So the Riverside County of Education put an application together, a written application detailing all the brain stuff we do, because that's what's important to them. And they came and did a site visit and actually watched our crew do a story time. And we were very lucky to be selected to get a Golden Bell Award from the, I get so nervous with the CSBA, the California School Board Association. It is considered a very prestigious award. It is extremely rare that it does not go to a school district. But this one goes to RCOE in conjunction with us. And we received a really cool, yes, that we would like to unveil.
So here's, and if you didn't notice the books,
the card. Yes.
Books, so here we go.
Yes. And we're thrilled, and would somebody like to ring it? Because and
Is that
everybody
what it
else,
is?
close your ears.
Mr. Mayor?
No, ring it.
Oh,
Yeah.
And Marjo, you know we love that sound in Brawley.
Yes,
it goes very well.
Marge, I have one thing to say. Now that I'm on, not only because I'm on your committee, but I have to say in the year and 2 months that I've been with the city council, you have been up here, and each and every time you come up, you have some exciting news. You always tell us exactly how much money you're getting, and I have to say, it's been a lot of money in a year and a half, or a year and 2 months that I've been here, and I want to congratulate you. And I know you have a great staff, but you are the brains of this group, and I want to commend you on that.
Thank you. Can we get some pictures?
Of course.
It's not like I'm proud.
Yeah, I was actually going to read something.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
so,
Never mind.
so,
Wait a minute. No, wait. Sorry. I'm ahead of myself.
No.
I'm excited.
Don't worry. We're not forgetting that. So we're going to get there. Marja was nice enough to get all the notes ready for me. She's like, okay, here, highlight this, and we'll do this, and we'll do. All right, perfect. I'll know exactly. But just an item on the Golden Bell Awards for 2014. This is part of the program, but I think it captures what the Bell Award is and how long it's been in existence. So the CSBA Golden Bell Awards, now in its 35th year, promotes excellence in education and school board governance by recognizing outstanding programs and school board governance practices in school districts and county offices of education throughout California. The Golden Bell Award reflects the depth and breadth of education programs and governance decisions supporting these programs that are necessary to address students' changing needs. This awards program highlights best practices in education in all areas of operations, instruction, and support services. So, you know, they look at all of those things, and because of that, you've been awarded that. So it's a huge accomplishment for you and for the city and for the group of individuals that work the program every day. So congratulations to all of you. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if I could, excellent, and just learning more about this award. I want to start with Marjo as well. Thank you. I've had the pleasure of 2 years of serving with the library board. I know we have one of our board members, Judy Grant.
Bring her up too.
Please, and but just a fine group of people, and that includes the staff. The Angel Tea is kind of our opportunity toward the end of the year to really get with all the volunteers, all the people that really make the library work. But Marjo, that your board, your staff, it's just a true celebration, and to get something like this, I'll tell you, it's pretty neat, because I didn't peek under the thing here.
Right.
But it is very impressive, and you'll be in very capable hands with Councilmember Noriega, so I'm passing the bell.
Thank you.
And please continue to know that all the support in the world from both the community and the council is behind you in these endeavors, so thank you.
Thank you. And my library board members, including Mrs. Grant, have always supported this.
Yep.
They even got to ride in the bus to go.
Where's the driver?
Yeah.
All right.
To go over to.
There's a driver.
This woman
Yes.
is phenomenal.
Yes.
If you have not ridden in the bookmobile, this is the lady. Around town.
See her all over.
Because they got to ride to the Quechan Nation when we got some money, and she
It's not
got.
a great road.
And it's uphill, and there's cars parked, and there's a little bit of a drop off.
Right,
and-
right.
Yeah, and she's great, so yes.
Well,
We have a great crew.
congratulations.
Thank you.
And you know, I would say this about the library board, the library staff, and it's a very tight-knit group.
Yes,
And
we
you're
are.
either into literacy and those programs, or you're not. And I'll say this, you guys have a really great group, and that's why the program's successful. It's everybody involved, it's the board, it's the direction, it's the director, it's staff. You got a great team. So congratulations on your award, and we're very proud of you. And we're proud to have great resources in Brawley, so
Yes, we
let's
are.
keep them up.
And happy birthday, Judy.
Yes.
That's right.
We're gonna get some pictures real
Yes.
quick here. Yeah.
Okay.
You should know for being a school board member. That's a big deal.
Ladies, do
Big
not
deal.
hide. Rosa, do not hide. Who's got the bill?
Here's the bell.
Okay, it's not right.
Okay, I can't
I'm not sure. Okay.
Let's squeeze in a little bit.
Yeah, here you go.
So if I bring it too close, you know what?
Smiles are good.
All right.
Yes, it's actually, I mean, it's not. No, and we have to hide it because I'm afraid somebody will take it to recycle. No, they'll recycle it.
Uh-oh.
Because it's
You're right.
made of
Yeah.
brass.
Let's not talk about that.
Recycle it. That's a nice way. That's a nice way.
Yeah. That's a nice way of saying it, right? Recycle?
Some recycling in my neighborhood.
Right.
Recycling.
I always say, Marjo, your scarf?
Yeah,
This is one of a kind. This is the one-of-a-kind award here.
Thank you.
There you go.
I
Thank
love
you.
books. You
There you go. Just barely, you know, it's like. All right, everyone. Well, we're moving on to item 2C. That's presentation of the Brawley Sewer Lift Station project funded by North American Development Bank, NAD Bank, by Yasmin Arellano, Public Works Director.
Hi, good evening and Happy New Year. I'm here tonight to provide a presentation on our recently completed project, Lift Station Number 2, Wet Well Rehabilitation and Emergency Power, and also Emergency Power for Lift Station Number 1. I'm gonna try to go super fast through this presentation, and because there are a lot of pictures in this, but where the lift station number 2 is located in the Citrus View subdivision. It's located on Richard Street in between the streets of Stephen and Ronald. This is the general area, and this is the general area for lift station number 1, located on South 9th Street, south of Mainland Street. So basically, how do lift stations work? It's basically, let's say, for example, that the word lift, basically, if you have a subdivision with gravity lines that don't meet the elevation, so then this is kind of like the elevator for the sewer. So this is the lift station number 2. We have a total of 3 lift stations in the city, and so this grant was to rehabilitate 2 of the 3 that we have functional.
Good.
I skipped one. The project was designed by SOMAS back in 2006. The city funded the design, which made this project shovel-ready. The construction was funded by BEC and by the North American Development Bank. The BEC and the NAD Bank, they basically, BEC focuses on the technical, environmental, and social aspects of the project, while NAD Bank concentrates on the project financing and the oversight of the project. So basically, the grant was from NAD Bank through a CAP program, Community Assistance Program, and they also paid for the construction management of the project. The construction timeline, we were able to advertise and complete this project in 1 year. Our prime contractor was a Brawley contractor, which was A&R Construction, with subcontractors of Stills Electric and National Coating and Lining Company. Our construction manager was James Davey and Associates, and as I said, the management was provided by NetBank. We have the before picture of lift station number 2 in the Citrus View subdivision. This is the before. This is just the outside of the lift station. This is the existing, the previous pump equipment that we have there. And this is the manhole. We're looking inside the deteriorated condition of the wet well. This is how it was before. As you can see, the concrete and the coatings were peeling. More pictures. This is the installation. These are pictures during construction for the installation of the gas service and conduits. This is the removal of the old lift station package. This is the manhole. This is the bypass that we set up. And this is another shot of the wet well without the structure. As you can see, it was very bad, deteriorated. We started by sandblasting and rehabilitating the wet well. And as you can see, the final stage was the coating. This is the delivery of the new pump station. This is the coating of the wet well. The connections to our new generator. This is the hoist, and this is our new odor canister, so that we can control odors in that area. Gas service, and basically this is the final project. This is the manhole that we had to rehabilitate on Legion Street. And I'm just gonna go through the pictures for the new manhole. It was a huge manhole structure. This is the base. And I'm gonna show you the completion of the manhole. So this is on Legion Street at the intersection with Richard. Going to lift station number 1. This is the delivery of the new generator. Pictures of the slab construction. And this is the final product. The total cost were total $530,000, $729 cents. The city would like to acknowledge Hector Aguirre with EPA Region 9 with the Infrastructure Office for their continued support for environmental projects in the U.S.-Mexico border. They were not able to be here with us tonight. Also, the BEC acknowledgements, the Director of Projects, Ms. Renata Manning Bagbo, Roberto Molina, the Program Manager, Joel Mora, Project Manager, Armando Carrasco, the Project Engineer, and Martha Lopez, the External Relations Specialist. Our NADBank team was Rafael Escandon, who's the Director of Project Administration and Technical Services, Jorge Silva, Program Specialist, Rene Contreras, Technical Services Specialist, Diana Mardegain, the Senior Procurement Specialist, Martin Rodriguez, Technical Specialist, Miguel Valderas, and Carlos Naranjo, NADBank Consultants. Also acknowledging the Construction Manager, James Davey, and Tomas Sanchez. And this is it. Sorry I had to fly through this presentation, but I had about 80 slides.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Good job.
Any questions?
No, that's nice.
Yes,
Very
question.
nice.
And how did we receive this grant?
Through, it was a CAP program. The city applied for 2 consecutive years. The first year we were not successful. The second year we continued. And we were successful. We had a shovel-ready project. So it was through the CAP program, and which is funded by the North American Development Bank.
And who wrote the grant?
My team, engineering.
City staff.
City
right?
staff, yes.
City staff wrote the
Engineering,
grant.
yes.
I just want the public to know
thank you.
that you guys wrote the grant to get this done. And
Jasmine,
so-
just so people know where that lift station is located and where the sewer plant is like,
Yes.
so that way they know
Opposite
why that
ends.
lift station is needed, yeah.
Correct.
To move, yeah.
Yes.
To move the stuff,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
There you go.
Brown water.
Good
There you
job.
go.
Congratulations on the grant.
I
Thank you very
did
much.
have one question regarding the signage out there. Is it still located out there? Because it is a residential
It
area.
shouldn't be.
Yeah.
I'll double check, but I think we issued a work order for the removal, but I
Okay.
will double check tomorrow.
Perfect.
Very good.
Fantastic.
Very
Thank
good.
you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Great
you very much.
presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine.
I need the third page for the agenda cover. The next item on the agenda, thank you, Is that the final page?
Third page.
Yes. Excuse me, the final page. I didn't have it back yet. Yes, thank you. I'm sorry about that, thank you. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Items are approved by one motion. Council members or members of the public may request consent items be considered separately at a time determined by the mayor. Is there any questions on consent by the council?
I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
There's a motion to approve. There was a second by council member, was it Couchman?
Yes.
Before the vote, Mr. Mayor, as it sounds like we had a motion and a second,
does.
but it looks like we have a date, a correction on the consent agenda, item B, December 16th, 2014.
The minutes correction that was referenced in
Right.
the opening
Right.
comments.
So just,
Right, so that would be already included because we
Okay.
approved the agenda
Okay.
with a correction, right? So,
thank you.
all right, so there's a motion to approve, there's a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, thank you. We're going to move on to the next item, that's regular business, item 4A, discussion and potential action regarding the request to consume alcohol on public property on 12 February 2015 from 6 to 9 as part of the State of the County address hosted by the Brawley Elks.
Need I say more?
I think that explains it. So I did speak
make a
with
motion.
Supervisor Kelly this morning. He's looking forward to the county
Event.
address. So
Yeah.
there is a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the request to consume alcohol on the date as presented, February 12th.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much.
That was- If
Sorry.
Let's see if Yasmin can get away with this. Let's see. Right? Discussion, next item is regular business 4B, discussion and potential action regarding replacement of deteriorating high mileage trucks ranging in year from 1998 to 2002, currently used by the following Public Works Division: water treatment plant, 2 by water treatment plant, 2 wastewater treatment plant, 1 pre-treatment and purchase of 5 2015 Ford F-150 pickup trucks in total of amount of $106,249.15 from downtown Ford sales, utilizing state contract 1-14-23-20A. So that was a long one, but we get the gist of it,
I
right?
make a motion, we approve this request.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I still get to hang out here.
Right.
Okay.
Next item on the agenda is
For a
4C,
while.
discussion and potential action regarding award of contract to CalStripe for project number 1014-19, street striping project in the amount of $99,454.56.
This year's fiscal year budget includes an amount of $100,000 for a striping project. The project will restripe the segments of Western Avenue between Main and the northern city limits, Malin from 86 to Best, Dogwood between Malin and southern city limits, and Cesar Chavez between Malin and River, as well as all the railroad crossings. We only had one bid received in the amount of $99,454.56 from CalStripe Inc. from Colton, California. The local bidding preference was not applied because it was a necessary.
There was only one.
Right.
Man, that's, nobody local did it, huh? Responded
Nobody
to it?
local, yes.
Is there any questions or comments from council? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
There's a motion.
Second.
There's a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is 4, regular business 4D, discussion and potential action regarding award of bid to Marco Equipment Company for the project number 2014-07, purchase of new CNG street sweeper in the amount of $306,490.50.
The City of Brawley had received congestion mitigation and air quality funding for this year for the purchase of a new CNG-operated street sweeper. The project went out to bid, and we received 2 bids, with the lowest bid being from Marco Equipment in the amount of $306,490.50. As this is federal funding, so the local preference factor was not applied either.
This is part of the Allied agreement, though?
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I make a motion that we approve this request, this bid award.
Second.
There is a motion, there is a second. Are there questions?
Yes. Just for the sake of, so the citizens of Brawley understand, because I was called upon why we, if Allied was taking care of the streets, why we had to purchase it. So if we could get an explanation so they'll understand.
As part of our agreement between the City of Brawley and Allied Waste Services, when street sweeping services were being considered for outsourcing, one of the areas of interest and of negotiation between the city and Allied was if we had the opportunity to obtain grant funds to acquire street sweepers, which we were already in line for. If we still had the ability to obtain them, Allied would be interested in a lease-to-own scenario where those units acquired after their useful life would be available for purchase. So this arrangement was solidified in the final amendment, the first amendment to our franchise agreement with Allied, and this is in fact the second unit we have acquired. The usual lifespan of the unit is set by the manufacturer at 5 years. So after 5 years, the unit will be acquired and the total purchase price will be that which it costs to acquire the unit. So it ends up being a wash.
Didn't cost the city.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And another very important point is that those units remain within our basin.
Right.
Right.
Very good.
We get to clean that credit by it being CNG.
Mr. Mayor, just one quick question that I was just curious about, just being a compressed natural gas machine, piece of equipment. Where are we getting that service currently? It's more from my knowledge. Are we getting CNG gas by traveling to El Centro, or is that
Right now they are.
in the city?
However, they purchased they paid for the removal of our CNG station, which was approximately $6,000, and they purchased that from the city for $1. Their intent is to install that fueling station at the Allied maintenance facility located on Dogwood, which is by Keystone.
Dogwood and Robinson Road.
Okay.
Correct.
Thank you.
So there is a motion, there's a second. Any other questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Don't leave, Jen.
The next item on the agenda is regular business 4E, discussion and potential action regarding purchase of 2015 Ford F-150 diesel pickup with a gooseneck dump trailer in the amount of $59,269.16, utilizing National Joint Powers Alliance Purchasing Contract 102811.
I make a motion we approve this purchase.
There's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Is there any discussion? Any questions? I just have one comment. I think I saw the backup material to this, and dump trailers, especially a gooseneck, can handle so much work. And it's just, the convenience, not just convenience, but the workload, from having to remove it yourself is just tremendous. So, yeah, I'm in favor.
And I'd like to thank you on behalf of myself for all these. This is great. Our trailer is a 1981 trailer, and our truck is 1998, and it's not functional anymore. So this is going to help us a lot.
It's a great trailer. I know, the gooseneck and the weight that it can handle, it's probably a double axle, I think it is, right? It's just a great trailer. So,
Thank you.
Motion, a second. Any other questions?
No, I was just going to state we can go out and pick up some more trash.
Yeah, absolutely.
Except for like Mr. Greenwood.
Right. No, absolutely. It makes the job 10 times easier. It just because somebody can go and unload it, dumps it, drives away, bye. Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, I just also going to comment that, and I do appreciate on a lot of these equipment acquisitions that the homework's being done, that they are coming in actually under estimates, what we were figuring and what we budgeted for. So even in this case, if you're saving $5,000, that's $5,000 of public money, so appreciate that.
And I've said this before, and I'll just make one last comment, but we're a great team within the city, but really, we have limitations when we don't have the equipment to do it.
Right.
And really, you need equipment. I mean, the palm trees being cut out front, that's just an example of some of the things that we've approved as a council, and so it's going to good use, so, anyway.
And we can save that money for Palm Avenue.
Yes.
Sorry.
There's
Just a little reminder.
There you go. There's a motion, there's a second. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor? Thank you, Jen. Aye.
Thank you.
Any opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is discussion and potential action to approve resolution number 2015, resolution of the City Council of the City of Brawley, California, appointing members to the Brawley Airport Advisory Commission and Brawley Planning Commission to finish a term expiring June 30th, 2015. So these are just appointments to finish out terms through June 30th, 2015. And so I've reviewed the applications, and I have seen the application for, we'll start with the Airport Advisory Commission. If you could look at your backup material, there's one for Mr. Tony Friley, business person, co-owner of Farm Aviation, Inc. Since 2001, aerial applicator since 1979, and business person and an aviator. So I would select that person and appoint them to the Brawley Airport Advisory Commission.
Mr. Mayor, if I can comment too, just having served on the commission, I'm really happy to see that we had some great applicants.
Yeah, we did.
Also, some people are, again, they're from the small business community. They're all aviators, but I as well, I've worked with Mr. Friley, actually, long history coming from the ag aviation business, but he's also been a longtime tenant on the airports. I think his knowledge will be very valuable as to anything we do to move forward in the future. So happy to see that we had some great candidates for that.
Yeah, there are some great ones. And is that by appointment, by mayor's appointment? So I'll make that appointment. I would appoint Mr. Friley to the Airport Commission. And for the Planning Commission, there was one application, so naturally they will fill it. And I believe Mr. Palacio had entered into the Planning Commission previously, am I correct?
Yes.
In saying that? Okay, so Mr. Palacio, welcome to the Brawley Planning Commission.
Mr. Robert Palacio.
Mr. Robert Palacio.
Yep. Is that just a straight appointment? Do we need to vote? Or?
You need to vote.
Yeah. I'll second the motion for the appointments that Mayor Nava has mentioned.
I thought it was a mayor.
I thought it was a mayor appointment.
Yeah.
It is.
So ratifying the mayor's
Just ratifying the action, so
ratifying
I'll make the motion to appoint Mr. Tony Friley to the Airport Advisory Commission and Mr. Robert Palacio to the Brawley Planning Commission. And it was...
I second that motion.
So there's a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Thank you. And congratulations to Mr. Friley and Mr. Palacio. Next item on the agenda is item 4G, discussion and potential action regarding authorization of regional animal control and stakeholder group cost-sharing memorandum of understanding with the County of Imperial and neighboring jurisdictions.
Mayor Nava, members of council, we have a staff report that's been presented as part of the agenda package. I'm happy to answer questions. The basic premise of the study is a voter survey of likely voters countywide and their potential support to finance a future regional animal control facility. As has been provided to you with some degree of frequency over the last several years, animal control issues continue to challenge the region as well as individual member agencies to meet the demands of the public, as well as satisfy the requirements for sheltering animals and addressing long-term goals such as community education on pet responsible pet ownership and proper pet handling. The intention of this study is to engage a consultant by the name of the Lou Edwards Group. This is the same group that was hired as part of the Measure D process when that was first initiated. What they will do is conduct using a survey instrument by phone, conduct a study of likely voters and determine whether there is support for a future project. There are very limited funds beyond local funds available to support these types of solutions. So the committee, which is the stakeholder group, there's various subgroups that have spun off. One of them is the finance group. I am chairing that entity. And the desire is to have an answer to the question, is there enough public support to move this project forward? I will share with you that we have done outreach to jurisdictions in California who have built regional facilities. There have been some interesting findings that were a part of that information gathering. One of the most important is that animal control generally ends up funded as part of an overall public safety topic. So it gets tucked under public safety as an umbrella, oftentimes is not successful in and of itself. What we're trying to do is hone in on whether or not, if it's packaged in a way that's meaningful to the public, that there can be public support for the project. Just to give you a little bit of background, we take in approximately 1,000 animal intakes a year with our single animal control officer. And if we were to participate in an overall solution where all the cities are in, the costs are estimated in the realm of $1.4 million annually for operational expenses, and as much as $4.6 million for the best shelter. But there are many other variations on a solution that are lesser in value, based on whether or not only certain jurisdictions are in. So at this point, what the working group is trying to do is go to every single member agency and find out, are you interested in getting an answer to this question? The basis for sharing cost is exactly the same as the basis for the original study that has led.
Population.
Yeah, so population breakdowns, and the city of Brawley would be responsible for, of the $47,500 estimated cost, it is approximately $7,700. And the county is willing to front the expense associated with this work, recognizing that we didn't budget for it in our current fiscal year. They're willing to take payment in a future year for member agencies that need more time. And since we didn't budget for it in our process, we could either handle it as a budget adjustment or bring it through the normal budget process, which, since we have the time, is likely to be the approach if the council is supportive of moving forward. I'm probably more than you wanted to know. I know we do have a member of the public here that's interested in offering comment.
We'd like to hear from you. If you could come up, please.
Hello, my name is Jim Courier, and I'm a member of the Humane Society of Imperial County. I'm on the board, executive board. I'm the secretary with the Humane Society of Imperial County. So when I was reading this in the newspaper this morning, the assessment fee, $7,659. This is a topic that comes up in our board meetings every month about just beginning to look at the Imperial Valley to have a shelter of their own rather than the Humane Society being the shelter, the de facto shelter for the county. Because at this point, the shelter now is 4.5 times its limit of what it can reasonably hold. We have 450 animals that are sheltered right now, and we're built and designed for 100. Wow. So if you had 4.5 times the amount of people living in your home, you can just imagine what that would be like. So anything that we can do to move forward in getting the Humane Society to be moved away from the de facto shelter of the county, and our goal is to be a no-kill shelter. And with that being said, we would rather be a boutique shelter and having animals come and be groomed and taken care of and adopted out, kind of like a glamorous Petco. But at this point, when we have 450 animals inside of a shelter, we can't do that.
Right.
So when I saw this comment that at $7,700. And there's a lot of things that you can spend $7,700 on, besides, some people think animal, studies and such. But if this would help to move ahead in building an Imperial County animal shelter, that would be something that we think would be a great investment with it, because at some point, the shelter that we have on Pico Avenue is just going to implode. I mean, it's just, we can't handle anymore. So if you could go ahead and grant the $7,659 to pay part of the study to move ahead on the other $1.4 million to $4.2, a little bit at a time, Bogey Toto, it would build up in an opportunity to have a shelter for Imperial County. Eventually, this is going to have to be built, because you don't have any more shelters. You don't have any more room to put the animals.
And it's something we've talked about for many years. It's, it's an item that most people don't think about, but we're transporting 1,000 animals every year. It looks like that's been the case. So, and we have one full-time position, and he's always active.
Yeah, when I go there to volunteer, it's just a revolving door of county coming in from Calexico, Westmoreland, Imperial, Brawley, and you could stay at the gate and almost set your clock by when the next truck's going to come by, and bringing in 4, 5, 6, 15 animals at a time. And that's great, because, the animals can't be running out in the city, based upon getting hit by vehicles and somebody getting lost. But the Imperial County as itself has to take responsibility in building its own shelter. We have one shelter with 20 kennels. And we're doing a great job in what we have to do with. And of course, we're always trying to do bake sales and raise monies and, $5 at a time. Can you give us $5 a month, And we're doing a lot of things. We have a fun run coming up at Fitness Oasis, February 7th. Please come donate.
Yeah, right.
But
that was a nice plug.
Yeah, thanks. I give up on it for myself.
There you go.
February 7th, remember, 9 a.m.
Right.
But so think about this. If it's the part that Brawley has the amount of money to afford to pay for, to step forward into at least doing the assessment, I'm certainly willing to go around to the other cities around the Imperial County, Calexico, i.e. Brawley, El Centro, and ask them for the same support to be able to do the assessment and to build the shelter in itself. Or, what are you going to do with the other 900 animals that are going to come in next year?
Right.
So.
Thank you for your comments.
All right, great. Thank you for your support.
Thank you very much. Are there any other questions or comments from council on this item?
I move that we give the authorization for the regional animal control, and that we, in sharing the memorandum of understanding with the County of Imperial and neighboring jurisdictions.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Just one point of clarification for myself. We're authorizing the memorandum of understanding. We're not committing to an outlay of cash at this point.
It will be incorporated into next year's budget process if you approve the MOU.
Right, but if the other neighboring agencies are not included, then that would increase our cost. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so before that dollar amount
That needs to come back.
yeah, wouldn't it need to come back to council?
Should the council wish to authorize no more than 7,000,
Right.
the 7,000 figure, we'll have it come back if there's an adjustment. There is anticipated potential inability to pay by some of our smaller neighboring jurisdictions, although it was noted that when the needs assessment was conducted, everybody participated. So we're hopeful, but I'll keep you posted and bring it back to you should it be a potential adjustment to the figure prior to payout.
Just that, the only question I would be prompted with that is, it sounds like everyone is all in on the service and the need, the future need. So even if there was difficulty with a smaller jurisdiction, they're still going to utilize and need the service or need this, this project to move forward. So if the county was nice enough to kind of front the project to get it moving, the study, when they just simply owe them later or further down the road? That'd be my only question. Or they
What
can
they're
actually opt
attempting
out
to
and
do-
just not participate?
They could, for instance, not move forward with
It's like Wimpy, huh?
approving the MOU.
Right, right,
Okay. It's a risky road. We would hope not, but that's the
You guys
risky
remember
road
Wimpy
in
from
this
Popeye, the Sailor Man?
It's risky, but like Mayor said, we could just say, we're just paying the 7,000 and go forward.
Right, and remember, this is a study, not a solution. I
Right,
think
it's
that's the
Exactly.
bigger
Absolutely.
issue. I think
Yeah.
long range is
But most of things
years,
do
maybe
have
several years
studies.
away, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we invest this money, right, and it turns out that people would be supportive, and that help us make a better decision in the future, $7,600, $7,700 is not gonna break the bank, we know
No.
that. And we also know we have a huge problem out here with stray animals
We do that.
that are being picked up every day, so I'm in support of the decision, I just wanted to state that. But, Councilmember Noriega, did you want to restate your motion to include the dollar figure?
Okay, and 7,000,
$659.
okay. And I would like to include the figure of $7,659 to be, not to be assessed any more money towards us.
And you
Second.
Okay. So thank you very much for that clarification. So there's a motion, there's a second. Any further discussion by council? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is item 4H, discussion and potential action regarding date for Ralph M. Brown Act training. I know this is an item we talked about last year or early this year, excuse me, last year it had to be, right? And we would discuss it for sometime in February, so.
So this was a request from the council to return in January, and we are open to hosting the training with the training being led by our city attorney. If you have some dates that you'd like to propose based on your known availability.
Are there any dates?
I don't have any dates at this time. We've had a flu epidemic going around in our office, so now our CEO is sick, so she's been out, besides her husband, having some procedures done. So we are on a hold right now of what's going to happen, what dates, if I'm going back and forth.
Can we set a tentative date further in the future? And that way we can just say it'll be, like, March, even maybe the first week of March, just so we have something scheduled and we can maybe get the work
When
started?
you're in town.
Would that work?
Okay, I know
Well, we
that I
can change
have
it.
some conferences, 3 and 4 of March, I believe, right?
3, you'll be out. 3, 4, and 5.
Mr. Mayor, what about consideration for, we have our annual calendar scheduled out for our meetings I know it may lengthen the day, but maybe trying to schedule it on the same day as a meeting, that might be a little bit easier for us, but for example.
Sure, we could
coming in
start
early-
earlier.
Right, and then doing the training, and then maybe take a break, and then we commence with our meeting, something like
We can
that.
certainly do that as well. I think the other thing we can consider too is through the JPIA, maybe online training. If there is some sort of online training that we can take at our leisure, whether that's on a weekend or at night or something like that, that might help as well.
I myself wouldn't want that, because I know that I would have some questions, or, if somebody else asks a question and you think, oh, I didn't think
Sure.
about that, that's the only problem I have with that.
So if we can agree to a date and we can just have it earlier in the day, I think that would be appropriate as well. I don't know how much time we need to commit to the subject, but.
I like Mr.
There's
Wharton's.
another thing that maybe it's more economical, is that Frank Oswald and I have been tasked by IID to put on their training in the near future, and I can get that date and bring it.
That'd be fantastic, yeah.
You could ask IID.
You come to the IID boardroom and just sit in.
Right.
That might be an option. And it wouldn't cost the city anything.
There you go. See what you're thinking?
Or we
That's an
could do it
idea.
for JPIA with
Or
the other
JPIA,
cities
yeah.
and see what other cities.
But I can sure find out what the date that IID's playing that, and, because we did it last year, and a lot of city officials came from different cities.
If you could do that for us, we'd appreciate it. Why don't we push this forward? I know that we have some conflicts with schedules. It's still the first meeting of January. Why don't we discuss it on the 3rd? That's February 3rd, our next meeting, and maybe by that point you have a date of that, and maybe that can help?
There's a date already, I just don't know what it is.
Okay, but you could provide that to us by then, so.
Sure.
Okay. Would everybody be in agreement to that?
Sure.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay.
Well, that's been decided, and we'll move on. The next item is discussion and potential action of a town hall meeting, and this item was, I brought this item forth. something that I've been wanting to do for some time. I've talked to Councilmember Wharton about it previously, and, it's just to help and get the community's involvement and engagement in place. I did talk to Supervisor Kelly from the county, and the concept would be this: we would have it like at a town park, like at the kiosk, have the community come out, we'd have seating out there, we'd also invite them to bring their own chairs, make it an event to where they can certainly get a recap of what we're working on within the city, introduce ourselves to the public, meet them afterwards, but we would also have like the state assembly member give a short 5-minute presentation, our congressman a 5-minute presentation, state senator, and our county supervisor, just so we can get an update from local level, a regional level, a state level, and a federal level. So that's sort of the concept behind it. I wanted to see if there's support for that sort of type of town hall meeting. But if so, I would propose some date in March, so we would have time to plan that out a little bit. And it would be ideally at the kiosk. I think it's a beautiful venue. Yeah. So
Answer some questions.
Sure, and then we get to go out there and talk to the public a little bit when they have questions. And
Mr. Part of the discussion on this also is just, it's just another unique way for us to take the business of the city and the business at all levels of government that we're doing, maybe we're more involved in on it, maybe on a day-to-day basis, but really make it uniquely presented and accessible to the public. And it's really just about community engagement, which I think we'll all agree. We're fortunate to have what we have, but just a little different venue, and hopefully make it a little bit more exciting, and certainly for like Mr. Flores's,
Sure.
class and kids and just community at large. So if something like this could come together, I'd certainly be excited.
And maybe we could have a little music by Capital 64
there we
Band.
go. There you go. He could be the house band. There you go. You could be the house band.
Can we open our meetings with something?
Right,
A
yeah,
little
right.
Beatles
Right.
ditty?
Yeah, right. So I would like the support of council for this item. So that is the concept behind it, town hall meeting. I had considered other parks, but I think the kiosk,
would be nice.
central, it's next to the administrative offices, it's a beautiful location, and we're really working hard at trying to improve downtown. So I think people, if they can come out and see it
That'd
and
be
hear from
good.
us, would be good.
Yeah, let's plan it, let's do it.
All right.
I
so
agree.
Let's, saying that, I'll make a motion to have a town hall meeting on March the 2nd
One of our meetings. or a
meeting of
different-
March, that's the
Yeah.
17th, that would give us about 2
Yeah.
months? Would
Yep.
that work?
St. Patrick's Day.
That's St. Patrick's Day, even
that's
more
St.
festive, there you go.
No,
There you
that
go.
would be a bad time to have it.
Is it?
People do things on St. Patrick's Day.
Like Sam?
Maybe not during the day, I mean, it's possible.
It's just a meeting, Sam.
Here on St. Pat's Day.
You're gonna do it in the evening?
Yeah, just a
That's
regular
fine.
meeting time, you know? I think we'll be good. In fact, I think it'll be even better for us.
Marjo might have an idea.
Marjo, library, is that your idea?
No, I'm here as a resident.
Resident?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Wherever you have it, please make certain to have really strong lighting and ADA accessibility really easy. So if you're at the kiosk, if you have a microphone down below for people and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Having gone to the incredible tree lighting,
Mm-hmm.
ADA needs to really be pushed for this.
Sure.
That's as a resident.
Appreciate that very much. And it's something we've addressed previously, and I know we'll continue to do, so, yeah.
Some other areas that have bubbled as we've talked with staff and just want to make sure the solution takes in all of them is, as mentioned, lighting. Our typical lighting solution in the downtown has been to bring our tree lights, which are really loud. I don't know that they're the best fit for this scenario. So we need to come up with some other method for bringing enough light so that people don't trip in the area. The sound system, too, we want to be sure is high quality enough with the traffic that on Main, and what we hope
So
will be
people can
really
hear
great turnout, that they can hear, too.
Even if it's not that venue, if we determine that another location would be appropriate, I'd say let's consider that. But certainly, I want to schedule something for March 17th. That's the second meeting in March for a town hall meeting.
Mr. Mayor, might I suggest also maybe as a Plan B, as maybe staff really gets to work on this, could April 7th be kind of that Plan B, like an alternate date? So if there are just absolutely hurdles we can't overcome on the 17th, we've already had decided in this motion,
Sure.
maybe that there's a
I
backup
would just say
date.
that the
Yeah.
weather, we gotta be aware of
Gets
the
a little
weather too.
windier,
It gets,
could
yeah,
be, but,
yeah.
so of course, fair time kind of begins that season, so we'll roll
Oh.
the dice.
There's always gonna be something, you know?
Yeah,
it's
March,
like-
April, May, we begin our kickoff for, there's a couple things on the horizon, so folks know we've got our water and sewer rate study we're expecting in February.
Should be popular, yeah.
We also have our mid-year budget review in Feb. March, April, May, you'll have all of, and we'll bring an item to you guys to see the potential dates for budget workshops. So we'll have extra meetings, but if we can hone in on specific dates, it gives us a chance to reach out to state legislators too, to figure out which are the dates that work best for them. Because I think your hope is to have all of them be a part of the program.
If we're lucky, that day we can have Supervisor Kelly and his brother perform for us. You know, they usually do the Irish songs that day, so.
Okay.
I would propose, I'd make a motion that we have a town hall meeting March 17th.
What time?
Normal time?
Just the normal.
6? Okay.
Yeah, I second that motion with the.
With the caveat.
With the
that-
caveat.
Sure. Alternate date, sure.
Mayor Pro Tem Warren mentioned about the next week.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? See none. Thank you for the support.
Awesome.
Motion carries.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
may I invite you or any representative of the city to come out to the farmer's market on the 14th, right before that, to help get the word out?
Of course.
Be happy to distribute flyers.
We'd be happy to do that too. Thank you.
That's a good idea.
The next item on the agenda is departmental reports, 5A. Yasmin Arellano, Public Works Director, various public works projects and activities.
Hi, I have a couple of items.
I approve the motion.
Couple of, I have a couple of exciting items I want to share with you and a couple of not so exciting items. Let's go through the exciting items first. I'm going to follow Marge's advice.
There you
Go
go.
through the exciting items
Keep it
first.
positive. There you go.
So, the City of Brawley, together with ICTC, was successful on obtaining Federal Transit Administration funding in the amount of $600,000 for the improvements of our bus stops. What that means, ADA accessible improvements, potential nicer shelters, more amenities. And this is the phase one. Phase one, the project that we submitted was broken in 3 phases, where phase one takes into account the existing IVT routes, so the existing, the Main Street, the K Street, the Palm, so a few on Rio Vista. So that's phase one. Phase two, we're gonna apply for that also, crossing my fingers. It would take into account the rehabilitation or shelter installation for the Gold Line. And then hopefully phase 3 would be more ADA accessibility improvements. So we're very happy about that. One other item that I wanted to share with you is that we had to move fast into a project change of scope of work. We had CMAQ funding, congestion mitigation and air quality funding, for the rehabilitation because we had a faulty CNG fuel station. So we had some funding we had in the amount of $300,000 for the rehabilitation of that station. We worked with ICTC during the month of December, actually it was during late December, and we submitted the change in scope for a project for pedestrian improvements, again, ADA accessibility, and it's for the pedestrian improvements on North First Street from the alley north of Main Street all the way to A Street on both sides. So hopefully we'll have enough funding to be able to complete all the alley approaches, handicap ramps, sidewalks. That area, it's a good area. It qualifies, it's functionally classified as a major collector. So we are able to spend some federal funding there. It's also going to be key to another couple of projects in that area, which we're going to begin this year with the replacement of the pipeline. Water pipeline in that area, and then hopefully next year with the paving of the street. So that's after we're done with that next year, so that's going to be a very nice area. So those were the 2 exciting projects. The other one, just for information, I wanted to share with you that because of the closure of one of our major industrial users, and also because of the success of our water conservation program, the water demand is very low. We're not using a lot of water, which unveiled a great opportunity for staff to evaluate the interior of the airport reservoir. We closed the valves last week to see how the system would behave. We have, today's the 7th day. It's behaving very well. We're being able to sustain pressure. If everything continues as it has for the past week, the idea would be to, and within the next month, to empty that tank and to evaluate it. The last time we looked inside that tank was in 2009. We had blisters on in the floor, and then we also have issues with the walls as well as with the cathodic protection. The idea is to evaluate the existing condition of the tank and to come back and request and propose a project for fiscal year budget 15-16. So that was my my informational, and then I also have wanted to share with you also the number of water breaks that we had during the month of December. It was the late December. Actually, I'm missing like 3 more on that map that didn't make this map. It's missing the ones on Rio Vista. We had a total of 16 breaks. Some of those were service leaks, but the majority of the breaks occurred actually all of the breaks occurred on the cast iron pipes. And what are we doing in order to resolve that issue? For this fiscal year, we have 3 areas that we're replacing pipelines, which is on I Street from 3rd to 8th. It's also on 1st Street we're calling it from Main to A, and then also on Main Street from 1st to 8th Street. Unfortunately, a large percentage of our system is still cast iron, and we're gonna keep working with the allowable funds that we have.
Right.
So this section that you stated to us, is that the section that got the worst main breaks?
The cast iron pipes, yes.
Yeah.
All of the breaks were in cast iron, yes.
Councilmember Noriega, is your question, how did we select the 3 projects that were funded?
Correct.
For the capital budget, Yasmin?
In other words, I asked if that was the worst breakage that we had in this section.
Yes,
Also.
right, I Street and first, if you look at the scars in the asphalt on I Street, it's just patch after patch. It's an IA between 3rd and 8th. Same with 1st Street. It's an area by McDonald's and Carl's Jr. That's been an area that's been working and for several years coming and trying to establish control, installing valves. That's an area that's been giving us issues. The other one also, Main Street, we have leaks and issues with the services already. In this, one of the projects, all of these areas are scheduled for asphalt rehabilitation. So the idea was to rehabilitate the pipeline before we went in and paved.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe we can get rid of the medium on Main Street and put a river walk.
There you go.
Like San Antonio or something.
A river walk. Where are you gonna need a river walk?
Well, they're gonna dig it up.
We got it.
That's right.
Thank you very much for the update.
Thank you very much.
We're going to move on to city council member reports. Councilmember Noriega.
Well, one of the things that I did was I was up in Vallejo anyway working, so it was really easy for me to drive an hour over to Sacramento, and I got to most of the afternoon was with the assembly members, not just ours, but several of the different counties in California. And I have to say, they really said to us, all of us, no matter where you come from, whatever county you come from, if you have any questions or any concerns, or even if you need money and you're an assemblyman, can I get you money? Please come and see us. So these were fairly first-time assembly members, so it was kind of funny to hear them say that. I have to say, Ben Wessel was there, and Mr. Eduardo Garcia was also there, and he said to us that he will be coming into our county to let us know that there's some money out there that he's going to discuss with us. So I believe, hopefully, if he doesn't come any sooner than March, would be a great time for him to explain to us what monies he is talking about for our cities here in the Imperial Valley. One of the big proposals, or one of the big discussions, was Proposition 47, which revises sentencing laws and releases current jail and prison inmates who may fall within a newly revised sentencing. And one of the things is they talked about money that was put out to all the cities and we had to put in for grants. Unfortunately, we were not one of the cities that got the grants, but there was lengthy discussion on how did they pick these cities, and it seemed, I guess, that some of the people knew which cities were being picked, and they said, well, it seems like they always get it. The same cities get the safety money. So I suggested that maybe half of the money, half of that grant that they put out is for new cities that put in for these grants, for them to be given, instead of 2 years now, they're extending it to 3 years. So it'll be a while before we can put in again, but I was assured that we would, be able to put in, and maybe the smaller cities that had prisons surrounding them would be able to use this public money. And I told him we had a police chief that knew all about it, and I would send him up for that grant money.
Chief Crankshaw, you hear that? There you go. Right answer there.
So that's the end of my.
Thank you, Councilmember Noriega and Councilmember Couchman.
Yes. I attended a workshop, Air Pollution Control District workshop at the Farm Bureau. It was like a hearing workshop that they had for people that were involved in PM10, I think, mitigation. And it was pretty well attended. I thought I should go because I serve on the APCD committee, the advisory committee representing the city of Brawley. And so I wanted to hear what these people had to say. And there was a lot of valid questions, and they asked a lot of questions about it. A lot of it technical data that I'm not fully that I don't fully comprehend, but in some cases, I think they appreciated the county going through the system with them and what they're going to have to do in order to meet some of those mitigating factors. The biggest issue is Mexicali and Calexico area, and that poses the most problems for APCD. So that was part of the discussion also. And so I attended that for my knowledge more than anything. I did a lot of interviews with BUHS history students. They've been calling us all the last couple of weeks. I think you probably all have done some of that or experienced part of that. Some got to me really fast, some waited to the last minute, but we were able to help most of them, and I hope that they were successful with their projects, because we did go over interviews with them. Some of those were not real lengthy, but I would say 30 minutes or so, in terms of 30 minutes to an hour going over this stuff with them. And I know the mayor met some people here, I met some people here. One I did by email, interview by email. And then some of the other ones came in here, and then some caught me at local restaurants and talked to me there. So that was very interesting. And I think it's important that we have those students come and talk to us, because I think they get a new perspective about city government and government in general. And they also get some ideas about what we do here in the city that people are not really always fully aware of. And I think it's important to have them be engaged, because like I told them, they may eventually be city council people, and they need to know those kinds of things. I think it's important for the community. But overall, that was a great experience. I also we completed our Civil War live fire this weekend out by Wheeler and Huff Road at the range out there. We had about 65 participants, and what we do is a combat match for Civil War guns, and it's mainly for the reenactors that go around the country, or at least California, and reenact Civil War as reenactors, and they do skits and that type of thing. In this case, we use live ammunition, and we do competitive shooting with cannons, muskets, cavalry carbines, and pistols. And so we were able to do that. That went very well. We had about, like I say, 65 participants. We had a few spectators. We don't really advertise it, because it's more for the shooters than anything. But we had the tent set up and the camp and all of that type of thing. So that went very, very well. And that's a 2-day process with about 4 days of setting it up. So we got all that done. And so that's all that I have to report right now.
Thank you, Councilmember Couchman. Councilmember Campbell.
Yeah, real quick, as Councilmember Couchman mentioned, I did do quite a few interviews with the high school students, and it was interesting. I thought most of the children was from Mr. Flores' class, but I guess Mr. Rico
Yes.
had
It's Mr.
some,
Rico's
and
history.
we did one here, and they actually videotaped it and recorded it, and said, man, you guys are making me nervous.
Right?
Lights shine.
All right.
But it was very interesting, and our teachers do a real good job with our students, and for them to be seriously interested in asking good, solid questions.
Yes.
That's really good to see. And other than that, I just want to thank staff for what they do. I ask that all of you guys keep Mr. Chuck Pate and his family in your prayers. Chuck passed away on Saturday, I believe. And I believe the viewing is going to be tomorrow and the service on Thursday, I think. But I worked with Mr. Pate for a lot of years. Really good guy. But he did pass away on Saturday. So I ask that God continue to bless you guys and your families, and thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Campbell. Mayor Pro Tem Wharton.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. I did attend Deb Smurden's DS Art Studios grand opening. Wonderful event. My wife and I were latecomers, so we got to be part of the closing crew, and it was a great time, and ate as much pie and what was left as we could, which there was plenty of that. But really happy to see that open, and certainly will benefit. What a lot of people need to know is people come from all over the valley and have been for many years. Many have grown up there since their elementary years, and now they graduate and they're in college and all that stuff. So really neat to see. Also, the Brawley Business Advisory Committee, we did meet. We tackled, we kind of have an open forum where we wanted to set kind of a calendar and a strategy for the year. And I was really pleased to see many of the topics that were brought up are actually issues and topics that we are still working with as a council, such as customer service issues, improvement, what can we do better? They brought up other issues such as code enforcement, for example. And again, these are not new topics necessarily at council, but the committee was engaged. They brought these topics to the forefront. And again, really appreciate, as well as our ex officios, I think our city manager and still back there?
Yes.
Yeah. Our chamber executive director are very active participants in that process. So hopefully some productive things come forward as we keep working. So the only last thing, Aviation Day, attended that. I was not working. I actually just attended it, enjoyed it. I certainly stole some more ideas for the Brawley Aviation Day, hopefully later this year. But again, a lot of Brawley merchants were represented there. It was a great time. And the final thing, yes, I had one interview, except mine was selling me BOHS barbecue tickets for the basketball team. So I did that, and we conducted an interview, and I totally agree with Councilmember Campbell. If you're not on your toes, be ready, because those were real questions, and you better have some real answers, because you know they're going to be documented. But really appreciated that, and Happy New Year again to staff. Happy to be back, and look forward to the rest of this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Wharton. Again, Happy New Year. And I know you've heard that several times today. I was at the IVEDC meeting, and we discussed the Renewable Energy Summit. Also did a tour over at IVC. I thought that was impressive. But more importantly, from that conversation, we had guests from Sethies University, the leadership from Sethies University, talking about the different engineering programs and the PhD programs that they have in place. So incredible programs. Some of our engineers are graduates, and there are many Sethies graduates in engineering here in Imperial County. So they bring tremendous resources to us. And now with the relationship between IVC and Sethies, I think it's just going to help strengthen some of the applicants out here in Imperial County. Most people don't think of going to a foreign country to get a higher education, but in our country, when we've lacked on engineering, mathematics, sciences, other countries have done well, and they've flourished. So hopefully we find some benefit in having an accredited university right across the border. So I thought that was a great conversation. Very, very polished people that came over and spoke to us, so I was very impressed. Also attended Ms. Spearden's open house, beautiful little location, and I know that it'll be successful, and I wish you well. I did an interview with not only the kids from the high school, but a gentleman. His name is Chris Clayton. He's the Ag Policy Director for DTN, the Progressive Farmer. and that's a farming publication. He wanted to talk to me about National Beef and what's happened since it's closed, and I did explain to him some of the issues that we're having within our operation because of the lack of water flowing and the sort of burden that puts on us aside from the financial one. But he came down. I put him in touch with some local farmers and ranchers, and he followed up with them and had a conversation. So that likely will be published in the near future. Let's see, having a meet and greet with some officials that Mr. Kelly, Tim Kelly, mentioned earlier. That's going to take place tomorrow. Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Wharton's going to join me in that, and it's to hopefully get some business flowing for the region, and more importantly, to get some things moving here in Brawley. So also met with the LTA. We approved an expense for the stoplight on 86 near Salton City, and that's a big deal because there's tremendous number of accidents out there. It's very risky. A lot of people have died out there, and so I'm hoping that saves some lives. And that's really it. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that has taken place, but I don't want to take too much of your time. Again, I just want to thank staff for everything that you do, the public for coming out, council. Let's have a really great year. I thank everybody here. We're starting off with a fresh year for 2015. Let's keep it positive. Let's work together and let's move forward. So thank you all. Next is the city manager's report.
Just two quick items to report out. Number one is City of Brawley will be hosting the Housing and Community Development NOFA training, Notice of Funding Availability, early February. We will be utilizing the Emergency Operations Center at the Police Department, and it'll be a meeting for all of our local jurisdictions, agency staff. So happy to be a home for those training opportunities, and we will use it as a chance to reacquaint them with some of our local projects. Number two is received a call today from the Regional Water Quality Control Board inquiring whether the council chambers is available in March. So it looks like a March 12th regional board meeting is potentially going to occur in the chambers, and we'll make you aware once that posting occurs. The meetings do rotate throughout Region 8, and because our setup with the sound and everything is appropriate for the conduct of public meetings, they've asked to use our space. So just wanted to give you a heads up on that, and that's all I have.
Listen, real quick, I'm sorry. Any update on the Honolulu? Can you talk about that?
If you're referring to the Del Norte dealership, we have a site plan into the city for the location at Julia and Highway 86. The proposal at this time is to move forward with the establishment of a quick lane, which is a product that actually, or a service that exists abutting El Centro Motors in the city of El Centro. An evaluation of the customer base shows that many Ford owners do in fact use the quick lane for regular maintenance, and the rehabilitation of the property is already actively underway.
It's looking good.
You may have seen that the painting has occurred, and there'll be a great deal of corporate branding associated with the property. You may also see some folks on premises doing staking. We are working closely with AT&T to invoke some of the provisions of our franchise agreement to assist with undergrounding of AT&T services. So, we are hopeful that future service lines will find themselves a home at that corner. The intent at this point is a goal for opening in April of 2015. So we've got the item on the Development Review Committee, the next DRC agenda. In the meanwhile, they'll continue to perform enhancements to the property that don't require building permits.
Thank you for that info.
Thank you.
Really good.
Next item on the agenda, Mr. Hamilton, is the treasurer's report. Nothing to report there, thank you. Next is city attorney's report.
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on. I gave you the big juicy one at the beginning of the meeting, so spare the gory details of the rest of it.
Thank you. Next is city clerk's report.
I have a question.
Yes.
And our J Street house?
I'm working on that. That is in my It's in my lap right now, and I just have to have about 5 hours in a row to get what needs to be done. And I haven't had that in the last couple of weeks.
To be done as in?
File a motion to try to get a sale approved.
City Clerk's report.
A reminder of the league dinner this coming Thursday, Crumbs Pizza, starting at 6, from 6 to 9.
Thank you.
That is
This Thursday.
This coming Thursday.
22nd.
Well, again, thank you, everyone, and thank you for coming out, participating, and staff, again, thanks. We're going to go into closed session. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Elvis is leaving.